future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com. It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV Stories. Contagious Optimism.
Hi guys, this is Sunny Chayes and you are with us all today on Contagious Optimism. A very exciting show we have for you today. I have two wild and wacky guests in their own way. I first want to chat a little bit about something that's happening at Agape, which I so believe in, and it's a thing called Anonymous Good. And I love this concept so much. There's a clever person, I can't tell you who she is because she insists upon being anonymous, and she is putting something together called Anonymous Good, and I have here the noun goodgasm, the all-over great feeling you get from helping someone else. So you can go to anonymousgood.org and you can do things like take a sign that says Anonymous Good and hashtag it, and you actually hashtag it Anonymous Good, take photos, put it all over the place, and then these are going to be collected, and the idea is to create 1 million acts of Anonymous Good. So how cool is that, John?
Yeah.
Can we have applause for that one?
Right, you got it.
I like it. Applause for that. Let's have Anonymous Good all over the world, as we know. And we kind of need it right now in our world, so let's do that. So I want to get right to our fun. that applause comes and goes so fast. We have to figure that out. We're going to have two incredible guests on our show today. We have one who is a co-author of Contagious Optimism. His name is David Martin, and he is a great friend of David Mezzapelle, who is my partner in crime here and the author and force behind the book Contagious Optimism. And David is an interesting person. He has sort of a bit of a life, a little bit like Tom Shadyac, where he had lots of dinero and then things happened where he might have had a little less, and he sort of shifted his image of himself and all those kinds of things to realizing that his success was not in how much money he had and things that he had, but just in his ability to create fun in his own life and for everyone else. And I love this expression that he has, from the markets to the mountains, finding the passion. So that's David Martin. He's going to be joining us. So let's just go ahead and say hi to him. Can we, John?
Sure can.
So hi, David.
Hola.
Hola. I love that you say that because that's my next thing. I really want to learn Spanish. So we're just going to bring everybody on kind of together here. I also want to introduce a very, very excited to have this guest with us too, Julian Michaels. I've been wanting you to be on my show for a long time, Julian, so I'm very excited that you're in the studio with me today, fresh from New York. Julian is many things, so we'll find out through the hour what he is actually, but just to give you a bit of an introduction, he is a numerologist to the stars. He is a brilliant person in bringing information to people, bringing hope, bringing love, bringing clarity about their own lives and how they can absolutely use their gifts in a much more significant, powerful, true way. And he's already done that for me. I don't know if you know that, but some stuff you told me is really kind of shaking it up and shifting it already. So without further ado, let us bring on Julian Michaels. May we?
Yes. I'm going to bring everybody on back.
Yay. So we have David and Julian. So you guys are both on now. So the peeps can see you.
All right.
So what I would like to do is go first with you, David, just to give us an idea a little bit about where you are. And then Julian can learn a little bit about you, too. Who knows? He may have something to say to you about your life. So let's hear about you a little bit.
Okay, well, I am celebrating 20 years of being a wealth manager this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also very excited to be part of Contagious Optimism. David Mezzapelle has been a good buddy of mine since high school, and he's always been the one who helps his friends realize how psyched they are. And he'd always introduce himself. Instead of saying hello, he'd ask people, "Are you psyched?" And
Yeah, he always puts that in an email to me, and I'm like, I feel like I'm working with a surfer.
so I'm here today to announce to the world and David, I'm psyched.
I like it. I like it. So let's say hi to Julian, too. Julian, you're saying hi to the peeps, and
Ciao.
hola, ciao.
Hola, ciao.
Aloha. So tell us a little bit, just kind of school us a little bit about, sort of the positive elements of numerology and how that really brings, like I was saying, clarity and all of that in your introduction, how it brings that to life. First of all, what I said, is that true? I hope that's true, what I just said.
Well, numerology is a science. The father of mathematics is the father of numerology, Pythagoras. He said everything in the universe is number. That number has a meaning. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I take people's names at birth and birth dates, as well as their names that they use now, and I create a whole soul's numerological map. And you have tools. The numbers are frequencies. They have their own language. Mm-hmm. The name is a blueprint of our soul's and heart's desire, our personality, our destiny, motivation. Mm-hmm. And the birth date is a identification number, a PIN number to your soul's account. Together, this beautiful marriage creates your life purpose in your evolution. This time around, as I'm psyched as well to share numerology.
Yay, I
Awesome.
like it. Well, one thing that I want to read that David brought in, which I really love this, and David, you said that you always wander around with this, and it's in a newspaper, and it says enthusiasm, and the dictionary says intense feeling for a subject or cause, eagerness, zeal. And then it also says, this particular author says, if you're not going to do it with enthusiasm, just don't do it and go back to bed. And I think that's really true, and I think it's just way more fun. I noticed when I was telling my kids about things and they were resisting doing whatever it was like their homework or whatever it was like, let go of the resistance and just go for it and do it with fun, because it's way easier to just go with it and have the enthusiasm. And of course, we feel so much better and we do things so much better in that way.
Yes.
So, David, I want to ask you really quickly, are you going to be at the Contagious Optimism live event?
Yeah, one of the 12 speakers at
Cool.
CO Live in Florida, Jupiter, Florida.
I'm going to ask everybody to land because everyone's twirling in their chairs.
Okay.
John's going to be like, our engineer's going to be
It's
like
a ballet here, I feel.
I'm usually locked in a room trading options for my clients, so this is, nobody can see me in my robe.
Well, here we are live.
Right, I'm out of the robe.
So you're going to be there, it's going to be a great event, by the way. I want people to know that it's April 4th in Florida, and it's going to be the first Contagious Optimism live event. I will be hosting it with Sherry, co-hosting with Sherry Hersey, and we're going to have a lot of really amazing guests and people speaking from the book. And again, for people who don't really know what that is, David Mezzapelle's put this book together. It's kind of a chicken soup of the soul concept where people have come together bringing optimistic stories and things where people have had a lot of challenges and then found the silver lining, found the way to get through it, found the journey through it, and the glass half full concept by the end. And so this book is really, really inspiring a lot of people. And I have to say, when I mention anything about the show, and David, if you're listening, I want you to know this. Whenever I mention it, the show, the book, anything, they say, gosh, I can't get enough of that title, Contagious Optimism. They literally say that to me. So we're on to something. And the idea is that it's a movement, that it's a way of life, that it is something to have us grow with and go for it. Like the idea also of anonymous good, which I'm always the champion of and always want to celebrate. The idea of knowing that we have the power. And that's what I appreciate that you do, Julian, because when people especially the spiritual path, who are wanting to do great things for people in the world, the only way that I feel personally that we can really do it is when we're kind of cleaned up, when we're filled up, cleaned up, a little organized there with our energy, with our ego, I mean, we all have an ego and that's going to be there, but just kind of working through that. And by being aware of who we are and what we are and how we function, I believe it makes us better spiritual servants in the world.
Totally. And I always ask people to just take a few moments every morning to do a little bit of a prayer meditation, just to connect with themselves, their God within, so they can just share that God without.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. I want to share something kind of personal with you guys. I'm not going to tell you who it is and what, but the other day someone was talking to me about someone I know who's really famous, and I know some stuff about them that's not so great, and they were going on and on about how great they were. And there was a part of my ego that wanted to rise up and say, well, no, it's actually a little different than you think. And I realized, okay, I'm not going to do that for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to take away this person's fun, because they're having so much fun about the fact that they met them and their experience. And two, it's just not cool of me to do about that particular person. But I did notice my ego kind of like a little kid knocking on me a little bit, like, ooh, it would be just so fun, kind of just to, or not even so much fun, but just to kind of tell the truth to this person. And I thought, again, what is truth?
Yes.
As Gandhi says, only say that which serves the other. And I realized in this situation, what was happening with me? It was really my ego coming forward saying, oh, I want to, get in here. And I thought, okay, take a deep breath, young lady, and step back. So I just share that little personal moment with you.
I've always,
Yikes.
not always, but I've come to the conclusion, as the Bhagavad Gita says, nobody's out there except for you. So everyone that I meet is just a reflection of myself, past, present, future, and now. So, if I meet someone that I don't get along with or I've had problems with, I start processing and realizing, okay, Julian, what part of you is this person, and why haven't you laid a foundation where you're now okay with this experience, with whatever happened with this individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just, we're a work in progress. We're just all working it.
We are. Yeah.
We're working it.
Totally.
But that's the fun. I mean, and the only reason I shared that story with you is that's just a little process of me, sort of getting in the kitchen and working that up, or in the, however that is, cleaning something up that I noticed. And so I share that personal story with you and whoever else is listening. Yikes. So, David, I want to ask you a quick question. Then, Julian, I'm going to have you kind of go to work here a little bit.
I'm already going to work,
Oh,
girl.
I like it. I like it. So, David, I just want you to tell us a quick story about how you went from the market to the mountains. You were sharing with me a couple days ago, and just sort of where you were and where you are now in 2 minutes or less.
Okay, well, I think it started in '06. My father and I were partners, and I was living in Naples, Florida, and I was excited to take over his clients and the whole thing. And I realized that
That's in Wall Street. I mean, that's in
so
yeah.
UBS is where we were working, and they made my father retire at 78. And I realized that I was living his dream, not my own. And prior to living in Naples and teaming up with my dad, I had done a lot of hiking out in San Francisco where I was living. And I moved to Naples to take over my dad's business. And I realized it's not money that brings me happiness, it's nature. And that's when I made my shift, and I moved back to San Francisco, founded my own wealth management business. And at the same time, a buddy of mine, CJ, and I started a hiking club. And it was called Marin, the Hiking Club, and it was to get our friends out hiking. And to this point now, we're over 4 years into it, 4.5 years. We've done 43 monthly hiking loops. We have over 650 members. It's on Facebook, and it's only friends of friends, so we've turned thousands of people down. So it's not a numbers game, it's a happiness game. And we go on 7 to 10 mile awesome hiking loops that we make in advance. And it's changed my life. I've realized that it's not money that gets me psyched. It's, I mean, having it, it's a dirty resource we all need, but the truth is what brings happiness is what your passion is. And if you can tap your passion and go enjoy yourself, it changes your life for the better.
Well, one thing that I always feel is that I'm grateful that I have passions, actually, because not everybody, I mean, I believe everybody does, and this is something, Julian, that you allow to unearth if it's not available to the person. I noticed there are people who, like you say, you were doing what your dad's dream was. So you weren't doing your passion. You were on a road. You were on a road to be a good son, to do what you felt was right, what you just were kind of programmed to do. And yet one day you sort of woke up and said, wait, what's wrong with this story? This is not the picture I painted for myself. This is not my story.
These are not the footprints I want to follow.
Right, or these are not the footprints I want to make, let's say that.
Right.
And so there you are. So you realize that, which is great. And a lot of people, I think, all over the world aren't always in touch with their passions, or again, feel that I must have slippery hair. Feel, oh, very slippery. Feel that they must do whatever it is, like they love singing, but they feel they have to be a bank teller, because they're feeling that they need the responsibility of making money. And one of the things I love that's happening right now with the economy in the crazy way that it is, I actually feel that it's sort of cool, because people who were doing whatever now all of a sudden, doing something like real estate or something that was much more sort of 9 to 5. I mean, I have personal friends who've just said, screw it, I'm opening a bakery and I'm only selling cupcakes or whatever. It's like something just out of the box for them. And and what I love is that we can do that however old we are. We don't have to feel like, okay, we're 40 and it's done, or we're 60 and it's done, or we're 70 and it's done. So good for you. You woke up and you found your own footprints and you're making them. In the hills of Marin.
There's actually a story in Contagious Optimism about a woman who, in her mid-60s, just decided, I want to have a Guinness World Record. And she went and took trains all over the world and set the train traveling record.
Wow.
And
fun.
I mean, that story just gave me the chills, and really, like, every day I'm just not feeling as enthusiastic and happy as I should, or psyched for Dave. I pick up the book and I read a couple-page chapter. They're all short, 2 to 3 pages, and it just, the other day I read the chapter, I Am Enough. And boy, did that change my day, just believing in myself and going out and just walking the beach and smiling all day and being nice to people, bringing positive energy out. And every day you could read a different story and can really bring a lot of optimism into your life.
And again, like we say in the real stories from real people. So these are not people who have accomplished in what the world used to say, huge success in some way. They're people that David has reached out to, or they've reached out to him and submitted stories, and they catch he and his editor's heart and go in the book. So it doesn't matter who they are. There's no labeling or hierarchy or anything like that. So Julian, I want to ask you to jump in here, because we're saying a lot of stuff. And I want you to weigh in, because you're good at that. So,
well, I love using the tools of numerology and showing people that they have tools all the time, that they can empower themselves every day. I do a numerology pearls of the day on Facebook. I started that a number of months ago. I have over 1,200 members now.
So let's just say right here, how can people get on that?
Julian Michael, and you can easily Facebook me, befriend me, and
you
then
still
I'll
have
put
room?
Yes, I do. I'm very particular.
Okay.
As well as I do a Twitter, Julian Michael 11. So that's my Twitter account. I put out a newsletter every month that goes out to thousands of people in regards to the month and what the month represents. Because you have these numbers all around us. You also have our names. As David was speaking, I was just doing David, because the D is a 4, the A is a 1, the V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. It's a 4. The I is a 9. the D is a 4. So David comes out to a 22. So here's a man who has 2 Ds, and the D is very organized and disciplined and together, as well as they're the master builders. So he opens up doors, portals for people to move through, connect with their heart's desires, their guides, their experiences, takes that and he makes them real for them.
Oh. You like that, huh, David? And
Nailed
it's
it.
true.
So you can
So
just
cool.
take the numbers and just go with them by just knowing the basics.
Wow, that's so cool.
Did you notice handshake, high five, and not the fist bump?
Yes, I did notice that.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it
I want
real.
you to write down somewhere on your pad there John Williams, too, because John Williams is
yes.
our engineer, and I want you to share a little love with him at some point in the show. We can all use it, so we're gonna give John a little love today. You know, one thing that it's just hard for me to even comprehend, because
Yes.
a lot of things are hard for me to comprehend. Just have to admit, and the fact that computers are zeros and ones, like
Right.
that is so. It's like trying to imagine how many stars are in all the galaxies of the world for me to really realize when I mean, isn't that just like, whoa?
Well, you have all these different philosophies. And what I love about Pythagoras, he just used a simple one of 1 through 9. After 9 comes 10, which is 1. Why 1 through 9? 9 months to pregnancy, and then the human being is born. And you just take the basics, and you understand the vibrations 1 through 9. You can go to my website, julianmichael.net, and it's right there. Or email me, soulmagic, SOLMAGIK, at hotmail.com, and I'll be more than glad to share with you whatever you wish, because I'm here to serve.
That's very generous. People, isn't that, David?
It is. Before we move forward, I had a point on what Julian said.
Okay.
Basically, before Contagious Optimism, I'd want to know the score 22 and what's the highest score. How much can I accumulate? How do I get a better score? But since Contagious Optimism, I'm just completely psyched with a 22.
Isn't that so
And it's
cool?
the V, it's the 22nd letter of the alphabet, a V. And if you look at the V, it's grounded to Mother Earth, Gaia consciousness, that V. And then it's a parabolic antenna that's open to all the information, all the downloads of the universe and beyond. So that V is known as the master builder because it's able to connect with Earth as well as heaven. And it makes it real. It makes it come together.
Psyched about the V. Come on. As a single guy.
That is cool. That is so cool. So now, what else would you like to actually share with us about numerology? Do you want to say a little word
you
about?
asked me about John Williams, so
Yes.
I would ask if it's possible to have his birthday.
Oh yeah, 3/20/75.
So 3/20/1975.
This is all very spontaneous, by the way.
So
guys.
what if the birth date was a PIN number? We have PIN numbers to bank accounts, to computers. We have a PIN number to our soul's account. Month, day, and year. Those 3 energies create the 4th vibration, which is your main vibration. And this purports your talents, opportunities, lessons, and challenges in your life. What's happening to you in this year, in your personal year cycle, this month, this day, it's all there. So the 3 is a 3. 20, break it down. 2 and 0 is a 2. 1975, hello. 1 and 9 is 10. 17, 5 is a 22. Let's not reduce that because it's a master vibration. So your code is 32, which is a 5, 22, and that's a 27-9. Or it's a 3, 2, 4, whatever it is, it's a 9. That 9 is all about communication. It's all about also the teacher, because 9s do not have an easy life. They've been misused. They've been abused. They've gone through hell and back. Yes, my friend?
Oh yeah.
That's right.
That's why
but
we're
they're
doing a
here to
reading for them.
understand and learn the patterns, the programs that we come from our parents, from teachers, from our culture, from society, from all that and more. And that's the secret, especially of the 9, because you're here to step back, realize, all that has happened, it's a program, it's a pattern. But I'm going to create my own program and pattern. I'm going to find in my heart to emotion release, forgive, let go of this, and create my program and pattern, which is that of the teacher of forgiveness, of love. And by doing that, and in your radiation, then all of a sudden you get on with your work as the 3, the communicator. The 20, that's a very high vibration. It's known as hidden knowledge. So it's you working your passion and allowing that fountain of that knowledge to come up, and then you share it. Because the 2 is all about being that of the diplomat as well as the person who's the problem solver. So you're amazing when it comes to problems, because you can just understand it on another level. And your 1975, my friend, that's a 22. The same here as David in his own way. So you yourself also extremely sensitive, but also you bring it down. You make it real. The 22 is the master builder who attracts all kinds of people to them, their plans, their associations, their ideas, brings it together, yet you're the builder. You're the one that makes it real. And you make it real with the 9, being one with the divine. That 9 is the last vibration, which holds all the vibrations of 1 through 9. So you're a person that's the teacher of the wisdom, of this love that humanity deserves to embrace.
Amen. And what I want to say to that, John, is, first of all, John's the reason I'm here. Other people could have seen it or whatever. I was at another network, but John brought me here in a very, very auspicious and beautiful and peaceful yet forceful, clear way, if that makes sense. John, you also really inspire me. I want you to know that when there are times when I'm going to be a little bit judgmental with someone, like it's choking us both up right now. I think, how would John be about that? Like, no. He'd let that go, or he would see that differently, or he would just see the love in the person. And so, I mean, there are different times in my life when I'm wandering around and I think, I have a thought, kind of like that earlier thing I was sharing with you, and it's like John wouldn't go there. So for sure, and he's a major diplomat, and also ideas. He, like everything you said, I just echo because I've witnessed it myself. So wow, that was really powerful. Thank you.
Thank you both
So much.
Thank you thrice.
The 22 Club.
Yeah,
That's it.
22 Club.
Right, yeah.
Now, do you want to do a 2-minute on me? I don't want to. I'm the host, so I don't want you to do too much for me. I mean, I don't want to take too much of our time. But
Darling, we can do whatever you wish.
It's your show.
Really?
I know,
That's
but
right. That's right.
Yeah, it could all be about me. But see,
I
that's
can
the
do
thing.
David as well.
I want to know my score if you have my middle and last name. Just
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
I'm kidding.
Go.
I'm kidding.
No. Go. Well, do it. Go for it.
No. It's a
Yes,
joke.
yes.
Well, just out of curiosity, what is your middle name?
I'm psyched with the
What is your
22,
middle name?
though. Roberts. It's a family name.
Roberts or Robert?
Robert with an S, which makes Roberts.
See, that's interesting. That's different.
Family name.
Yes, that's different. Because you have Roberts.
See what Jewish people do? Even though I quit. But what they do is they're never the junior or the third, so they jam the name in the middle as your middle name.
Well, what's interesting is that Robert is a 336, which is that of the communicator. Roberts is a 347, which is that of the mystic. It's the Merlin. So it's communicating from that place of Merlin.
Ooh, what's Merlin?
Merlin is the magician.
That show,
Remember
the magic
from-
movie.
Well, whatever you feel what Merlin is, you're the Merlin.
I'm Merlin.
That's right.
I'm psyched.
Yes. You're a
remember-
psyched
remember-
Merlin now.
Remember the Knights of the Round
Sweet.
Table, David?
Yeah.
Remember that? And Merlin played around in there. He was
Okay.
he was the
He was the
mystical
guide.
energy.
He was the guide and teacher to all of them.
Is that
Arthur?
Merlin?
Yes.
And is it a 22? Is it higher?
I'm not sure, but what you're asking is this: that we can take any name, okay, and we can break it down letter to the number vibration and see what the significance of that vibration is. Because everything in the universe is number. That number has a meaning. So
And everything's vibrational.
exactly. Even the name of your book.
Contagious Optimism. Boy, we
Uh-huh.
could break that
Yes,
down. Let's
of
break
course.
that down.
Of
And
course.
while you're breaking that
Yes.
down, I want to mention that, so it's just as you see it right there. I noticed that I'm pretty particular about my name, and people always misspell it, and it's Sunny, and then Chayes, also a Hebrew name, Chayes to life, which I love that name. People always misspell it, and so I don't even say it anymore. When people say, "What's your name?" if it's a bank person or whatever, I just start spelling. And I notice I love the name Sunny, and it's on my birth certificate. It's a given name. It's not a nickname. And it's from Sonia, my great-grandmother, who came over from Russia. But it's my real name, and so I love that it is. That's all I want to say about that. It's like, it's just real. So I just don't like when people think it's fake or like a made-up name like Trixie, Toe Water or whatever.
I think you would.
I love the name Trixie Toewater.
Isn't it great?
We can tell stories about Trixie. I'm telling you.
We might.
Trixie and Merlin.
After the
That's
show,
right,
we're all
yes.
going out for a latte, and we're going to be talking about
yeah.
Trixie.
Trixie and Merlin are psyched.
And David with the V.
The V.
The V, the 22. David with the
The V, the vibration.
So people out there in Contagious Optimism world, we're breaking down the actual title, Contagious Optimism. So
It comes out to a 4.
okay.
And David, with those 2 D's, here's the 4. The 4 is discipline, organization. It's the brick of that of the architect. And the brick could be uneven, or yet to be able to build a solid, happening foundation. 4 sides, totally even, totally perfect. And that's when you start building. And that's when you build on your heart's desires, on your aspirations, on your ideas. And you get focused, and then you go for it. So also the 4, interesting enough, is a door.
Nice.
And the door is open to those who wish to go through.
Awesome.
So with Contagious Optimism, go through the door. Experience what is it that you deserve to experience in order for you to understand more of what is really contagious optimism for yourself and to empower you so you can be contagious optimism.
You're hired.
So hired. I
He's
love
the 13th
that.
speaker at CO Live.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
That was
maybe we'll
awesome.
bring him for sure when we do the event out here in San Francisco or LA or wherever it's going to be on the West Coast.
I
Yeah.
want to go out and buy the book now.
I tell ya. Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
Loving the 4
Totally, I'm
also.
Ah, love that 4.
Well, I also so do a little short thing with me. But before you go into me, I want to say some of the information you gave me. As I say, it already allowed me to see a little bit about myself. That I put some connected a few dots that I apparently needed to connect for a little more growth.
Well, do you want to go deeper? Do you want to tell me your birth date, or is that
Yeah.
Okay.
6/156.
Okay? Because
Don't I
this
look
is
fabulous
Hollywood.
for 94?
So, okay.
Just kidding. Everyone has to do the math really fast.
Okay, so your code is 6131, okay? And 1956 is a 21, which is a 3. So the 6 is, if you look at the 6, the form of the 6, it's a circle with this arm of protection over it, And that circle represents that of the ring of power, which is in Egyptian times, they created the ring as a symbol of love. Also, it's the mouth. So sixes are here to understand how to speak and how to speak from the heart, because the six is the vibration of service. It's the heart energy. And the sixes are here to understand and learn, not only to give, but also to receive. The heart beats and gives and it receives. The one is one, standing on your own feet, being in charge, being that of the leader. And as a leader, what does a leader do? A leader inspires. A leader empowers others to be leaders. And yet the ones, and you have double ones because you're a 6131. So whenever you have two of the same vibration, many opportunities and challenges with that one. So you yourself have gone through many experiences being in the shadow of the one and finding your own identity, and you're finally doing that. You're finally accepting and owning your one. And yet that one, being that leader, being that visionary, also deserves to understand how to be flexible and free as a reed. So there's hurricanes, there's storms, there's all kinds of things which are metaphors of just our daily experiences in life. And you're here to understand how to hold your ground, how to be centered, and come from that place of your power. That 1956, is known as the dancer of the universe. Oh. So you do that through the 3, the 213, which is a trinity of that of beauty and communications, telecommunications. So you're definitely on your path in regards to what you're doing. The 1 is the director also, so you're doing that. 6-1 is a 7. Plus last birth date was 2013, and that was a 6-4. So you're in a 4 year cycle, and this whole year has all been about you putting a foundation down, getting more disciplined, organized, and asking yourself, what do I want in my inner home for my outer home? And you're the architect. Until June, then you go into a totally different vibration of taking what you've done, what serves you, and moving forward in your progressive one energy.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. And
Yes.
a lot of things you said are just so beautiful. A couple of things I want to say about that is I always use this expression, being like seaweed in the ocean. So I love that when you're talking about the reed or whatever, I just love that expression, because I feel that I'll be in a certain situation and people are kind of wigging out, or, it's like, okay, let us all just be like seaweed in the ocean. And of course, I'm speaking to myself when I say it to others. The other thing is that I really feel like I'm a great muse. I mean, for many years in my life, I have been drawn to, had the privilege of, and it's just opened up, that I'm around a lot of exceptional people where I cheerlead them on. I'm their best sort of support and all that. And there's been this time coming when you're talking about being the one in the shadow, where it's like, okay, the time has come for me to step it up a little bit myself.
That's right.
And not sort of be in the shadow of everyone else, but step it up. And of course, without ego. But I love that you say that with the heart and the discipline and the service, because that's one of the reasons I haven't stepped in earlier, because I wanted to make sure I had as much of that in check as I could. And I'm, of course, always working on that, as we do, but to make sure that it comes from that place. So, woo! Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So, David Martin, jump in. But before you do, I just will say again,
Can't wait.
you. Thank you so much. So, jump in. Wow, that was just like, woo. Did you like that one, John, for me?
Yes, definitely. Definitely agreed 100%.
Thank you. So, David, you have you have a burning desire to chat. So
I do.
Dive in.
I'm just really working on this new skill set, which is listening. I have a long way to go, but I'm into it. It's a new hobby of mine.
Interesting.
Listening. But while I'm here and on a radio show, I'll also be a participant and get involved.
One thing that when you say about the listening, my dad told me many years ago something that he shared with me that he could not do it. He said, honestly, it's very hard for me to do. But when you're in a situation, listen to the people, ask questions. I was a costume designer, budding costume designer at the time, and he said, when you go in, don't talk about yourself. Just tell, ask the director about the project and how he got into the business. And I was scared to death. I said, he won't hire me. He won't know what I do and how I am and all that. He said, trust me, just try it. So one time I actually did. I went into a director in my little suit, and I had all my photos and my resume and all that. This is back in the 80s, probably somewhere here in Sunset Gower, actually. And sat down with the director, and I just started asking him questions, and he was pretty funny. I was laughing at his jokes. He opened my book, but then totally forgot about it. He didn't look at any of the photos, didn't look at my resume. Called my agent, William Morris, after. I literally said nothing and said, Sunny is so brilliant. I'm giving her the job. She is amazing. And I literally didn't say one peep. So the listening is something that I work on too. But it's super fun. It actually is really fun. Gene Houston, the great anthropologist and world leader again in the shadows, working with Clinton and presidents for so long, I've had the privilege to be around her, and she is so much more interested in you than she is in telling you about her.
I love that.
Always. It's just the coolest thing. And so, yeah, the listening is good. So why is that a thing for you? Did you always feel like you had, my dad was saying, that you had to kind of present yourself, be out there?
I just, in working with my dad and all that, I'm always trying to, prove myself, sort of thing, and tell stories to show people how smart I am. And like I said, in Contagious Optimism, there's a chapter called "I'm Here,"
I'm enough.
I'm enough.
Yeah.
In the chapter, I'm here, and it's all about, if you believe in yourself, you don't have to be a blabbermouth and look for everyone's respect. If you just believe in your heart and soul, you're right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really helped me, because now I don't have to be out blabbing. I can start listening, and it's a lot more relaxing.
It is that when you're not the life of the party, or you feel that you have to rev up for that, it's definitely more relaxing. It is more fun. I'm kind of doing a balance of that, and it is a good thing.
That's the secret.
Yeah, you're very.
That's the secret.
Julian, when you come into a party, I was telling someone about you coming in, and I said, Julian definitely brings a party with him wherever he is, whether he means to or not. You have a very big way about you. So do you think of yourself that way when you're? I mean, and you also listen to people. I don't mean to say that you're have too much bravado. I'm not saying that, but you definitely arrive.
Yes.
You know how to do that. Well, and also you've worked with a lot of celebrities. You've worked with a lot of politicians that we could just name drop all day long. We don't even have enough time to do as many as, name all the people you've worked with. So most probably you need to have, which you do, a very strong, whatever that is with you, the read, the one.
Yes. Well, the thing is that when people don't know who I am, and they ask me what I do, sometimes I tell them, or sometimes I play with them.
I like that.
He plays with them.
Well,
He plays with them.
in regards to, I was at a party, and someone asked me what I do, and because I was just talking about this food and how delicious it was, and then I was talking about the ingredients and everything else, and they go, "Wow, what do you do?" And I say, "Oh, I'm a cook." And they said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And then I say, "But I'm a cook of the mind."
I love that. Well, one thing I love.
So I always bring it to the mind, because I want people just to go, "Huh?" And then I just go, "Well, what's your birth date?" And if I'm in a good mood, all of a sudden I'll just go right into it.
One thing that David, you were talking about listening, and Julian, you were talking about when someone asks you what you do. That brings up a question for me, which is, just this feeling of, okay, we live in LA and this happens a lot, but
Sure.
when you interact with people, there's a lot of what do you do thing.
Of course.
And as an identity, and David, we were talking about that before, and with Tom Shadyac and being a film director and having multi-millions and letting that go and realizing his identity isn't in a 17,000 square foot house, but it's in just whoever he is at the moment. Figuring out a way to get to that, where when we hang with people, we don't talk about what we do, and we just share, just like you were saying about the food that we're enjoying or the beautiful sunset or whatever. I notice in a lot of conversation it is about, well, this is what I did, or this is what you do, or this is what I did today for my work, or this, there's a lot of that kind of interaction, which actually is not as sacred and personal. Like, I don't think tribes do that. Like, they don't say, well, what do you do? Because they already know that that is the elder, or that is the hunter and gatherer, or that is the, woman who grows the corn, and like that. So the what do you do never comes up. And it's not about anything. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So all I've done to that saying, because that's one of my most hated sayings, what do you do? So I added 2 words. What do you do for fun?
Love it.
And it completely
Okay, guys.
changes the whole conversation.
That's it. See, okay, so today so far we have, we'll just recap as we're coming to the end of our show. We have Contagious Optimism, which is the brick, which is the door to walk through. We have Let Us Be Like Seaweed in the Ocean. We have From the Markets to the Mountain, Let Us Find Our Passion. And What Do You Do for Fun? Let's all try that.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Shall we?
And let's take it further, realizing that what you do is fun.
Right.
Why? Because you're doing it.
Exactly.
You're doing it.
Exactly.
And if it's not fun, why do it?
Yes, and I think that when you and if people are, there might be some people who are doing things that they don't completely find fun, like if they're, if they have serious jobs of some kind. But when you come to a party or you meet somebody and you say, what do you do for fun? I feel, just when you said that to me, I'm like, whoa, I love that so much. I'm so taking that on, because I know that if I ask someone that, I'm actually going to find out much more about them than if I ask them, what do you do, like, for a living? And so don't you think so, Julian, too? Like, that is such a sacred, like, get to the soul question. Don't you think?
Well, I love what David said in regards, what do you do for fun? Mm-hmm. Because that opens up a whole area.
It's the right brain, opens the right brain versus the left brain.
But people have asked me that, and I said, my work.
Yeah. My dharma.
And I love doing what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 35 years, and it's taken me around the world, and I love it.
And you do it brilliantly, and we're all so grateful that you were on that you are on this show today. I want to ask our engineer. We have like 2 minutes. Or 3 minutes?
Yeah, we have 3 minutes.
Okay, so I just want to say that a couple things. Again, I always like to talk about the power of one and knowing that we do make a difference, that we always do, whether we think we do or not. A lot of times what we do, we may never find out what we did. We say something to someone at one point and it changes them. Like, John, if we weren't in this room talking about this, you may not know the things you've done that have affected me, or Julian, or David. Many people will read this book, and David Mezzapelle, or the people in this book, will never know how that ripple effect affected 25 other people somewhere. And the anonymousgood.org, I want to say again, guys, jump on that one, because I think that's so just perfect, because again, just doing stuff and having nobody know, how cool is that? It's like winking at someone as you drive by them in the car. They'll just get a little delighted and you're gone.
Yeah.
But the bigger things. I mean, the bigger things. And so I want to give everybody a moment to just kind of say bye to our peeps here. So,
right.
Dave, I'll let you jump in and just say whatever you want to say.
I'll just say one of our major themes is, you can go out and be negative, or you can go out and be positive. It's almost the same amount of energy. And wait till you try the go out and be positive and see the reaction of everyone you come encounter with during the day, it's a whole new world because positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. You want to hang out with the complainers? Go ahead. You want to hang out with positive people and live an enthusiastic life, and as we say as comedians, and bring it? You can do that.
Yeah, bring it.
It's up
I
to
say
you.
that. Yeah. And actually, I think that it takes less energy to be positive than, I mean, it's a different kind of energy than negative.
It's easier.
Negative is resistance, and it's just way harder.
It's easier
As
to be
we know when
positive.
we're working out, it's all about the resistance.
And thank
Oh,
you very
totally.
much, Sunny, for bringing me on the show, and thank you for that wonderful score, Julian.
Well,
of
thank
22.
you.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Julian, I want you to say a few words, or 27 words.
It's important at this time right now for us to use whatever tools that are possible for us to understand who we really are. And we're gods and goddesses. We have amazing abilities to create miracles and to understand that we are that miracle, so we can go out there and create those miracles and not wait a week from now or a month or when you go out on your vacation. Now, today, at this moment, go out there and enjoy yourself and go out and create miracles.
And have
Yay.
some fun.
And
Totally.
We are enough, by the way. We are enough. And I say that to myself, too.
Totally.
But we just are
Yes,
enough.
We are.
And,
We are. And
even
thank you, Sonny.
Even you, John.
We all are.
We
and there's
are.
And believe it or not, there's 4 of us in this room.
There are. I know. and
Right,
It feels like
so
so
we're
many.
ready.
So
So we're
we're a
ready.
tribe
We're
already.
building.
We're
We're
building.
building.
We're building.
We're
We're
all
opening up
David.
doors.
That's it. And so the next time I see you, David, we're going to be in Florida. I can't wait. I'm super excited. And then we're going to connect you. Yeah, because this is going to be awesome. We're going to have you play with us when we come out. In the meanwhile, guys, get the Contagious Optimism book. Read it. Be inspired. Come to our event. Go online. You know all that stuff. And again, do something that makes you feel good, as far as just paying it forward a little bit. Just anything that comes to your mind. Like Julian was saying, don't wait. Like, what's waiting about? What's waiting about? No. And anyway, you'll regret it if something happens and then you can't do it. Oh, that's the worst feeling.
The time is now.
Go for it. The time is now. So with that, I'm going to say, guys, contagious optimism reigns, is true in this room, is happening out there. And we're all psyched.
That's right.
It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio, and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV Stories. Contagious Optimism.